biblically, when we talk about God's sovereignty, the biblical definition is that God's absolute supreme authority, remember the key word authority, power, and right to govern all things according to his sovereign will. He owes no explanation to human creation. So how does this really apply in our daily lives? When a door permanently closes in our lives, or a trial makes zero logical sense, you don't understand why you're going through something or why something is happening to you, his sovereignty must reassure you that God is not panicking. This is where you hear the statement, God is in control. His sovereignty assures you that he has the ultimate and final say. Now, right behind that, you may have this fear that will creep up, that if he has the final say, is this going to result in loss of life or something? This is where you still have to remain very firm in your belief that whatever outcome that is going to be according to the will of God, you believe in God and you are unshakable. Your emotions might be shaken. You might be messed up. Honestly, things will happen. But your faith in God is not shaken. If your faith in God is shaken, this is where it means our faith in God was an outcome-based faith and not righteous, grace-based faith. And that's the Holy Spirit. If I go through experiences in life and I'm losing my faith, outcome-based faith is I'm serving and worshiping God for something. So if my loved one didn't get healed, or if my child, something happened, or I lost my job or something, it is all outcome-based. God, why did you let this happen to me? Outcome-based faith. When we must remember the sovereignty of God, that all of this, according to those who love him and are called. If you are called by God, there is something behind that you're not seeing. Patiently wait, prayerfully wait, hopefully wait. There is something. This is God's sovereignty. I want you to understand this. I want you to get this and not reject God because the prayer did not work out or something did not happen. Don't reject him. You don't know the full story of your life, of their life, of his or her life. You don't know the full story. You only know a little bit. So that is God's sovereignty. Now let's talk about God's providence. God's providence here is basically explained as this. Biblically, God's continuous loving orchestration of every single detail of creation to preserve, to guide, and to care for his children in real time. So, how does this look in your daily struggles? When you are sitting in the valley, waiting for a phone call, waiting for something to happen, waiting for a provision, waiting for a miracle to happen, waiting for your child to come home, waiting for a relationship to be right, whatever it is that you're kind of praying and hoping for, God's providence is him sending help. Is him sending someone to comfort you. Is him sending relief on time. That is God's providence. People in the world will call it, oh, that's a miracle. People in the world will say, oh, this is just luck, whatever it is. It is not luck to the Christian. That is not luck. That is God's providence. That is God, him just being who he is. Sovereignty is God sitting on the throne and declaring the blueprint of your life, of their life, of his life, or her life. Providence is God stepping into your daily mess to supply your daily bread. Sometimes God's sympathy exists and sometimes God's empathy exists. Sometimes they coexist. He is all of it, compassionate, merciful, judge when he has to judge, justice when he has to bring justice. Providence and sovereignty both guarantee that human opposition can never abort God's kingdom design. We can do our very best. We can try to sway this way and that way, try to do this, but God's will, if it is part of God's plan, it will happen.